Hey everybody, how's it going? I actually, can you hear me okay? Or is the fan that I've put on can you hear the fan? Like, is this going to be irritating? Because I need to know if this is okay. Because you know what I've done? I've taken my little fan, my TMU fan. I love this fan. I don't care that I got it from TMU because I can hang it on the cupboard over my bed in the motor home and plug it in, and it will just put air down on me. Or whoops, that's the fan. And or it has a light as well. But if it's not bothering you, I'm going to set it right up here on top of my monitor so that it keeps the webcam cool. Hello, 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 everybody, come on in. I'm sick, but I got the canning done this week. Oy. Tomorrow I'll probably be picking zucchinis and checking my beans. It's been so hot here. We're in our third day of a heat warnings. A little ginger in my tea, in my lemon tea, helps you drink it faster because it keeps your stomach, it warms your stomach. Oh, there you go. Excellent. So, for all those people who have been praying for my sons, Briar has an apartment on September 1st. He's in the co-op where he's been living for 3 years, but he's been living at his friend's apartment, and he wasn't on the lease. So he made an application to become a part of the co-op a couple of months ago. And there was one apartment, and there were three people vying for it. And they go on a point system, and Briar ended up being the next on the list. And one came up. And one came up, and he got it. So how, Jack? I'm in Canada, so I'm not sure how that's going to apply to me. So make sure this is actually plugged in all the way. See, this stands over the monitor, and this rests on the monitor, so I can hang it on my monitor to keep my camera cool. Whoops. Oh well, that'll work. Okay, send it to me in Messenger on Facebook, okay, Jack? So that is really good news. I mean, my son is like, everybody's like, oh, it's just anxiety, get over it. No, there's anxiety. What we think is anxiety is when we're stressed over something. That's just stressed. Anxiety is something you don't have any control over. I get anxiety, even with the medication I've been on for 30 years. And every once in a while, my whole body will zing. I call it zinging, and I have to do things to get the energy surge out of my system. It's not a good energy surge. It's an anxiety surge. Well, Briar has crippling anxiety. And as soon as he's in his apartment and gets a doctor, I'm going to get him to apply for the disability tax rebate, because he is functional, but he can only work 4 days a week. He's been working 3 days a week. Like when he had his nervous breakdown, he'd been working 5 days a week for a year. He's on the spectrum. Not everybody can do it, but he has been living life on life's terms, unmedicated. No alcohol, no drugs, no cigarettes, nothing from the doctor. So when things are his choice, When he makes the decision and he makes the choice, it's because he feels safe with that choice, right? So he's gone from living at home to on his brother's couch, sharing an apartment with my nephew, back home, moved into Sunshine, his best friend Sunshine's parents had an in-law suite that he rented, which is not an apartment and it's still in the family home, but it's like an apartment, but there's no, you just have to walk down a hall to get into the other one. And then Sunshine moved out, but Briar kept the in-law suite until they said, well, we actually want to renovate it for our parents now because their parents were getting elderly. So Briar moved to Gatineau and rented a room from Sunshine because Sunshine had 2 bedrooms. And now he's because now he did his interview over a month ago and he was next on the list and he got an apartment. Only problem is it's on the 3rd floor and there's no elevators, so Mama can't visit that often, right? So, but I'm really proud of him. He's living life on life's terms, and he's back up to working 4 days a week, which is all he can manage. But it's enough for him to pay his rent and everything included. So, because it's a co-op, so the rent is reduced, and he just has to participate in the upkeep of the building. Like everybody who rents in that building has a reduced rent, so they don't have to pay. So they all take turns. Every apartment takes turns. Washing the hall, cleaning the hall floors and walls, in the entranceway and the mailboxes, and I'll be able to send him a Christmas card to his own address. And they all, take turns cutting the grass and all that stuff. The whole property is maintained by the people in the building, right? Hey! Everybody say hi. I'm stuck in my bedroom because I'm suffering from the heat of 2 days of nothing but canning. But I tell you, you'll see the video unless I messed it up, because it was so hot Sunday and yesterday, and it still is, that I've been canning through a heat wave, and I've had to do it in stages because I'd have to, fill the jars, sit down. You know what I mean? I had to do my pickles sitting at the island with a fan on me. And my stomach hurts because I've been drinking too fast. So, all right, has everybody said hello? Let me pop out the participants list and say hello to Alicia J. Hi, darling. Angela M. Hey, baby. Hi, Nat. Autumn Gypsy. Backpack report. Celeste Auto Care. Hi, darling. Dave in Yeehaw Junction, Florida. Donna Lull. Happy Guy Jack. Joanna Leach. Karen Belair. Karen Ludwig. Linda Bob. Shashi. I have the hard time with that. Shashi. Sheila Hubbard. Sheila Leach. Sherry Leach, excuse me. And Yellowbird. Hi, Rosie. All right, let's go back to the chat. So, I hope everybody's doing good. I don't know what the heat's doing to everybody else. And everyone's going, oh, the sun's red. That's because they're burning our country to the ground. Fires everywhere. There's fires all around me. And Ontario is on one side of us, and New Brunswick's on the other, and there's just fires everywhere. Alberta, Saskatchewan, 102. Yeah, it's, we are... Current weather for low Quebec.
It's 32 degrees and mostly sunny and low. There is currently a heat warning in effect.
It's 32 degrees. I guarantee you where Howie is, it's 34 to 35 degrees because he's in the middle of a city. And concrete sucks and holds the heat like crazy. Hey, Carolyn, friend. All right, let me just check what that means. It's supposed to go down to 27 tomorrow and have a bit of rain. That's just going to make it worse. Okay, hang on a second. What is 32 degrees in Fahrenheit? Oh. Celsius in Fahrenheit. It's 89.6 degrees here. It's just shy of 90 degrees. The news in the U.S. is so vague. They just say Canadian wildfires. Yeah. Somebody's figured out that trees eat eat carbon and give off oxygen, so they're burning them down to make climate change an issue. Sorry, I don't believe any of it. Yeah, I know. I know. And the wildfires are only 15% lightning strikes. The rest is human. And they're trying to bring in climate lockdowns now, where don't go at like Nova Scotia. You can be fined $25,000 for hiking in the woods. Right? Can't go camping, can't go hiking in the woods in Nova Scotia. Right? They're trying to make it so people will stay in their homes and stay out of the woods. And this was predicted. This is the beginning of the new kind of lockdown, environmental lockdowns. Well, when I was at the track, I took a picture of the sun, and it was only at this stage, and it was red. I took pictures of it. It was red. But the wildfires, now hear me very carefully. The wildfires are not a result of the climate. The climate is deteriorating because of the wildfires. There's a difference. The climate isn't causing the wildfires. The wildfires are deteriorating the climate, and it's deliberate. That's all I'm going to say. Well, they haven't, when we first moved to Quebec, I've said this the other day, when we first moved to Quebec, the first thing I noticed was when we drove in the country, I said, Jesus, how you look at this tree branches over the hydro lines, right? Healthy tree or dead tree, trees were not allowed to hang over any kind of electrical wires in the country in Ontario. That, forestry, the Ministry of the Forestry would go in and clean up deadfall and have hydro come in and take down the stuff over the hydro lines. None of that ever happens here. Deadfall stays where it is. I've got probably 6 trees around me right now that if they got hit by lightning or a spark, I would have to evacuate, right? So I have been waiting for Revenue Canada to send me my tax disability rebate tax, because I'm disabled, but I'm functional in the fact that I have a job, so that I can get all these trees cut down, right? It's called purifying the land. Yeah. Hey, Silver and Blackie, Amy Hawkins, Missy Roar. But they're blaming the wildfires on the climate when they're burning the things to create the climate crisis. Okay? So people can say, oh my God, the world is burning. It's a climate problem. It's not a climate problem. It's a problem of poor forestry management and deliberate arson. There, I said it. Anyway, hang on. Okay. What ministry manages forests in Canada? The federal government's natural resources, Canada. Federal government. plays a key role in national and international forestry matters. However, the majority of Canada's forests are managed by the provincial and territorial governments. In other words, the federal government is in partial responsibility, but it's also provincial authorities. And they were telling them probably 12 years ago that the forests outside of Jasper, do you remember Jasper that burned to the ground last year? Yeah. They had been telling the Ministry of the Forest and the federal government that the forests need to be cleaned up, the deadfall taken out and dead trees removed, that it was dangerously dry as a tinderbox. And the federal government said, not my problem. Jasper burnt to the ground. And they're going to blame wildfires, but these are all being deliberately set. Not all of them are being deliberately set, but they have found piles of brush along hiking trails that are sitting out in the sun. The trails, like trees on either side, piles of dry brush with magnifying glasses sitting on them. And people are paid to do that. And somebody goes, oh, well, they could have just built that and put a magnifying glass on it and then videotaped it. It's like, why would somebody do that if they're concerned, right? To the east of us and south of us is in see, it's not just Canadian wildfires. Our environment is being triggered to create a crisis. And when I say triggered, you know what I mean. Volcanoes, hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I am. I am. Hey, Tigger, how's it going, Wendy? So I just, I didn't come on here for long because I have to edit tomorrow's video. I have to clean up from yesterday's canning. My kitchen is a disaster area because we went shopping at the farmer's market at like 9:30 in the morning Sunday, and I went all the way till 10:30 last night. I didn't make him. I asked him to buy himself a shawarma and eat it in the air-conditioned coach, because once he was finished eating, and then he watered the garden and algacided the pool and everything. He came in the house soaked with sweat, and he said, I don't think I'm going to be able to sit in here and watch TV. I said, it's okay, honey. You go watch TV. I said, I've got to finish my job anyway. I got to finish my work anyway. And he looks at me like, you're insane to be in here when you could be in the motorhome. And this is the thing. I overheat really quick. That's why I need the pool. But if I were to go into the air conditioning, even just to eat supper, and then come back out into the heat, it could kill me. I could have a heart attack. My fibromyalgia does not allow me to go in and out of cold and hot in this kind of heat, right? I'm sick now. I'm on anti-nauseants right now. I'm on fluids right now. I couldn't eat all day Sunday. I couldn't eat all day yesterday. I had to eat when I went to bed, right? Last night it was a ham sandwich and a banana because I'm keeping the fluids going. So I have to let my body acclimatize to the heat that's going on. I am in a vortex of fans. I got my little fan that's blowing on my webcam to keep it cool. I've got a double fan sucking air out of the room. I've got a fan there bringing air in the room, and I've got my box fan. 1, 2, 3. That's a double fan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans going in this room right now. 5 of them. And I'm just able to stay still and not sweat. It is really hard on the fibro. And with the heat wave, see, even if like I wanted to go sit in the coach and eat supper, you know, with Howie, I wouldn't be able to sleep the rest of the night. I'd be tossing and turning and sweating all night. I just have to let my body adjust to the heat as best it can, and if it gets really bad, go in the pool. But soon, shortly here, I've got to go put supper on. What time is it? Hang on, I'll be right back. I got to go put supper in the oven. I got enough ice on my lower back. Oi, my knees went on me yesterday. Both of them. So I have to get up really slow. I have to move really slow. You should be in the bedroom coming, Grace. That was not pleasant. I just, let me a second. I set my oven, I got my chicken and my potatoes in the big frying pan. Now I got to go to the bathroom. And I set my oven at 375 before I came in here. I looked at the clock. I forgot to raise the oven rack. So I had to leave the oven open while I raised the rack and put my dinner in. So now I'm like, but I've got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Oh. Holy shit, that's hot. I just went to the bathroom. You ever tried to pull up your a wet bathing suit after having a pee? It's kind of like what it is to pull my pants up right now. Oh, this is the towel that my iced tea is sitting on. As soon as I sat down in the bathroom, my body became slicked with sweat. Whew. But I have 2 chicken legs, not chicken and rice, 2 chicken legs and 3 potatoes that I poked holes in. Everything sticks to you in this heat. Rosie. Oh, you don't have a farmer's market where you live. Then where do you do your pop-ups, Rosie? Your jam. See, I remember things. Where do you do your jam pop-ups? Excuse me. I noticed that. They'd be a bitch to ship, wouldn't they? Sorry. I'm sorry you had to see me spit some back in my jar. The instinct is to chug, is to drink, but my stomach won't allow it. Every day when I come in from the garden, I sweat heavy anyway, so I get it. I have immediately a shower and then come in as a sweaty head will give me a cold every time. That's the problem though, is when I go in the pool right now, because I just had my shower. I only shower once a week in the summer, right? Because in weather like this, my hair doesn't want to dry and I can't leave it down. So when I'm going in the pool, I go in up to here. Like I go to the bottom step and I jump and a little bit of water gets on the back of my neck here. But that's what I've been doing. And because I don't want my hair to get wet. 71. It's 89 here. But we're supposed to get rain tomorrow. But it says cloudy and it has one raindrop. So it's probably scattered showers. But the temperature is supposed to start to go down tomorrow. At car lots or a hotel conference area or at local business parking lots. And do you have to have a license for that? Because you'd have to have a license here to do that. I mean, if I could, I don't know. Anyway, you're going to get the video tomorrow. I don't know. You're going to get it on Life of the Bullface. I don't know what good a quality video it is because some of it's from my phone. No, that was the pickles. I canned beans yesterday. So I got 34 pints of beans and the bag of beans. I'm grateful that it wasn't completely full. Not happy that I paid $55 for a half a bushel of beans and that I had to throw out about a 3-quart basket full with the tips because the beans were hollow. And they had been picked on Thursday. I wasn't happy about any of it. That's why I had to work all through Sunday. As soon as we got home, I got the pickles washed and soaking. And then I started snapping beans all day Sunday. And then I canned the beans yesterday. And I've got some in the dehydrator right now. We are all under the Perron. What's a Perron? Yeah, Tina, that's with the humidex. You're in New Brunswick, right? Where the fires are? I mean, I don't like the trees that are around my place, but you know, if we come even close to an evacuation order, I mean, I haven't heard anything, but then I just load the motorhome and, you know, go elsewhere, right? That's without the humidex? Jesus, you're 100 degrees or more. We're all under the same person that puts it on. I'm not sure I understand that. Oh, Tina, I don't know how you're living it. I really don't. I'm not even going to I'm going to see if I got some lettuce, if it's not dead lettuce. Go pick a cucumber from the garden. How far are the fires away from you, Tina? Because that's horrible. You know, I'm just going to give Howie his plate, say, go eat your supper in the motorhome, take Gracie with you. You know what he did last night? He took Gracie. Normally he only does it on the weekend. He took Gracie with him in the motorhome last night when he went to bed. Actually, he took her into the motorhome when he got home, when he went to eat his supper, and then he went to do his things, and then he went back into the motor. I told him go in the when he said I can't eat in here. I can't watch TV in here. And I went, it's okay. He says, I said, how's Gracie? He said, I'm going to keep her in the motorhome, let her out for a pee or whatever. But if she wants to come back in, I'll let her back in. She slept with Howie last night, and he let her in the house at 5 o'clock this morning before he went to work. Oh, okay. The wind is keeping the fires heading away. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Well, I'm going to get off here and edit tomorrow's Life with the Wolfies video. We're at 4,050. Still want it up to, and I'm so, that's another thing. I'm sorry you're not getting any live streams at the sewing machine right now. It's going to be in between gardening and canning and on rainy days. You know what I mean? So, and that's the same for the reading channel. I can't read and all that. How is my sound right now? Because I should be able to read a chapter right now. East Central Pennsylvania, it's 92. It feels like 98. We're at 89 here. And that's me surrounded by trees and shade, right? It sounds good? Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and read a chapter on my reading channel live. And then I'm going to edit and I'm going to bed. I'm going to have a swim and I'm going to bed really early tonight. Really early. Do you know what time I got out of bed today? 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I woke up at 5:30 or so when Howie brought Gracie in. And I phoned him as he left and said, you know, thank you and I love you and drive carefully. I went back to sleep, woke up at noon. Now this is exhaustion, okay? I woke up at noon, looked at the clock, phoned Howie, said, how's it going? He said, it's going. I said, I'm in bed later. And I fell back asleep till 2 o'clock. I haven't slept. If we get a knock on the door, yeah, you don't leave your pew-pews in your house. You don't leave your pew-pews in your house if you're evacuated. Because if they have to come into your house for any reason and find your guns, they will consider them insecure or unsecured, and they will take them from you. So if anything like that happens, we will just put Howie's car, not the race car, the little car, on the trailer, and we'll load up the motorhome and we'll go somewhere safe for a while. But that's never happened here, and hopefully it never will. I do need to rest. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to bed early tonight. I'm going to have supper. I'm going to get off here. You know what? I can't read. I can't. My brain's all over the place. I'm going to get off here, edit my video, finish making supper, have a swim, and then I'm spending the rest of the evening in my room here with all my fans, watching TV on my phone. Right? Hey, Phoebe. Really, Willows? Well, so far I have enough jars, although I lost 2 pint jars because I banged them together, or I was picking one up and it hit 2 other jars and it chipped them, so I had to get rid of them. So live streams is it, and it won't be sewing until the weather cools down. All right? Hell, you might even get a live stream of me in the pool, you know, from the pool at some point. Anyway, I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Remember, it's going to be live tea breaks from here on out, and grocery hauls until I can get back at the sewing machine when it cools down a little bit. Remember, my brother Bob was born in 1961, September 24th, in a 95-degree heat wave. This is normal. The weather is normal. The wildfires and tornadoes and shit, not so much. Take care. God bless. I love you guys. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.